All right, what is up, everybody? This is your boy Mike, and I'm here today um, with two special guests. But before we get there, we just got to say what's up to everybody. So we got Cam Cam in the chat. What up, Cam Cam? How you doing? We got Keith. What's up, man? Welcome back to the stream. Mark, my man Mark is here. Ari, we got Mesmi in the chat. Oh, we got Collins New Style. What up? How you guys doing? We got Rohit just chilling in the background. So I'm really excited about today's live stream, guys, because we have two very special people. Obviously, you know one of them, my boy Alex. Of course, he's a regular on the show, so make sure you guys go check him out. But then also we have another very special person. I'm a good friend of both Alex and mine. Her name is Mesmi. She is the Latina queen of Korea. She is one of the best people I know in this peninsula, and so new glasses do this. These are my screen glasses. What up? Yeah, Jill's in the chat. Pop Mokja, of course, is in the chat. Our friend. Hey, what's up, Christy? How you doing? I gotta finish my student loans, but first thing is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring our friends in. So I think they're ready to come in. You guys ready to come in?
Yep.
All right. So here I have two other special guests. Here they are. We have Mesmi and Alex. How you guys doing today?
We're doing great. I have prepared my wine for today, so cheers, everybody. Who else is joining us with wine? Anybody else? Oh, there we go.
That's two. Mike, where you at?
Mike, come on.
I have water. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on. How can you be honest talking about relationships and you're like, I'm going to drink water?
It's empty, bro. I got nothing in the house. I need to go shopping.
Dang, man. Well, I'm having a 120 Reserva Especial Cabernet Sauvignon. $15 at the finish on.
Was a 5,001 wine called Destino Spanish Red Wine, and it's just a soft, fruity red wine.
Oh.
So that's going to mess me up, but that's okay because it's only 5,001.
I feel so lame today, man. I'm just like, I just got water, but it's all good. Not really. I know, right? I need to just run across the street to no brand.
No, we'll take care of the chat while you're gone. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, take care of the chat.
We would love to host for like 5 minutes.
I'll let you guys run with it.
I recommend not doing hard liquor during a live stream. I don't know who did that before, who's an idiot that tried that, but I would recommend not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
No.
Today.
So before we get started, of course, we're gonna have to. I think everybody knows Alex, but Mesmi, you on the other hand, you come through the channel before, but I don't think most people know you. And so, would you mind introducing yourself today?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Mesmi. I have lived in Korea for about 6 years, and I'm currently living in Asan as a professor here. So nice to meet you, everybody. Yay!
You professor.
Yeah.
Professor Mesmi.
Professor
Mesmi.
You're like my only professor friend.
Okay, I feel honored.
Yeah, you just that smart, girl. You that smart.
No, I mean, half the time I don't know what I'm talking about. I just gotta act like I know what I'm talking about.
Say, and you a content creator.
Yeah. But these days I've been busy, so I haven't put out a new video recently. But hopefully I'll start recording stuff again. I did vlog a little bit of today, the Chuseok. So I'm hoping that would make a good vlog. Someone suggested it the other day from your chat.
Really?
So I filmed it for them.
Was that you, Cam Cam? Did you suggest it?
Possibly. It was possibly Cam Cam. I'm a professor. I teach English conversation and grammar. Somebody was asking that in the chat. Yeah, that's what I do. English
conversation. Nice. I wish I could sit in one of your classes. I just want to be like a fly on the wall and just hear you teach.
I would be so embarrassed. Can
I come? Can we come? We'll just be like,
I'm recording my lectures, so I'll send you like a clip and stuff, and you can judge me. You can tell me if I'm doing a good job or not. But there are times where I've taught like the wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I teach grammar, but I teach it wrong, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense, and I have to go back and Google it. So yeah, sometimes I mean we don't know, just because we're professors doesn't mean we know like all the answers to everything. And then when you put me on the spot, then I panic and I start to question myself. But yeah.
Yeah, oh, I know. For me, teaching, it's like it's different when you're like when you do things yourself. So like if I'm teaching math, it's different because if I know it, you just know it, right? You know it from the stance of knowing it, and you can do it. But then when you have to teach it to somebody, even when it comes to English, you have to understand it differently.
Or when they ask you for a definition, they're like, "What does this mean?" Well, for example, take the word. What does glass mean? Well, for me, glass is glass. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. So
you'd be like, I don't know, man. It's glass. Dang.
It's not an easy job.
No, it ain't. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Oh, okay. So I can actually give you guys the screen if it's just you. So, for example, Mesmi, if you just want to talk to the audience, I can just do this. Bam.
Hello, everybody. I like this filter here. I'm watching myself on YouTube, and it actually made my skin look better, more shiny.
I know you're looking good.
It's a filter. I don't look like that in real life.
Jeez, come on. Don't no, that's self-hating on that.
It's really a filter. Like my skin color is like not that bright looking. But anyways, you were saying, Mike, what were we talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat, and of course, you know, I can see what people are saying. And we have I don't know why it didn't pop up. It popped up on my phone, but it didn't pop up here. Basically, there's a question as to why the white guy is extremely quiet.
Because I'm it's not my introduction time. What y'all waiting for, man? Was I really talkative when I was drunk?
Maybe.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, you had a lot to say. Is there anything you want to say before we get into it, Alex?
No, just shout out to the original Korean Bros crew, the original Fine Bros of Korea, right here. We were one of the probably 4 or 5 regulars in the beginning. If you include maybe Lara, maybe Vanessa, and as far as regulars, and Cassie, and then you know, shout out to James. I don't know if James is ever listening, but that kid crosses my mind sometimes.
In case you guys don't know, so there's this YouTube channel in Korea called the Korean Bros, and I don't know, they got like 1 million channels, but the channel that we were on was for Koreans, and we were trying different things for the Korean audience, basically.
Korean Bros ENT.
Yeah, Korean Bros ENT. So go check them out. If you look for videos from us, you're gonna have to scroll through about maybe like 237 other videos to get those.
Well, our actually a lot of our videos are actually the top videos. They're the most.
True.
Yeah, you're right. We're the one. We have the trending videos. Ooh, as a matter of fact, weren't all 3 of us in the one video where the guy, like, his girlfriend left him?
Oh yeah, the reaction. I was partnered, I think, with Alex that day.
Yeah.
Reaction to the song, the breakup song.
I was the only one. That one went trending. That was 1 million views.
I remember that there was a specific line where me and Alex were just like, "What did he just say?" Like he just turned. He was kind of saying like, "I wish you like the worst" or something. And that's when me and him were like, "What the hell just happened in the song?"
Yeah.
But yeah, at that time, I couldn't really like relate to that song.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't really have anything to say, but like not long afterwards, I really actually experienced heartbreak, and I was like, now I understand this song. Now I understand why Korean people love these ballads, and they're so like emotional.
I love Korean emo songs. I'm sad that more of them. I'm disappointed that BTS is like, we're gonna do happy songs. I'm like, no, make me cry a little bit. Give me some Haru Haru by Big Bang or something, you know?
Alex needs that pain.
That emo, man.
Pain.
I'm emo. That's why I loved Korean K-pop in the beginning, because I'm like, oh my god, they're just like emo songs except poppy. It's great.
I'm gonna link this song to your followers. This is a really famous ballad as well. This is a girl. Her name is Song Hae, and the song is called Your Regards. It's exactly like almost like that song.
Yeah.
But yeah. Give me a second. My dogs are kicking each other's ass, so like I gotta go and see what's going on. Is there a way to can I pause it or something?
No, go ahead. Just go ahead.
Do I leave the studio? Oh, okay. Let me just. If y'all hear me cuss in Spanish, just ignore that. Okay?
Oh, this is fun.
Here, we're gonna give this a chat to while we're waiting for Mesmi. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you go on over, like and subscribe to my channel. We got Alex right here.
What up?
And Mesmi. So make sure you do that. Anything you want to say, Alex, while it's on you?
What do I want to say? I'm excited to hear the perspective of dating from the other side of dating here in Korea. So that's kind of why I'm here. I'm just looking for. I got questions to ask. So looking forward to what Mesmi has to say about all this because she's a pro.
Yeah. Sorry, my dogs are fighting over a sock. Over a dirty sock. Freaking ridiculous.
So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Before we do so, again, guys, make sure you go check out our channels as well and like and subscribe. And also, from what I can see, there may be some younger people in the audience. And so, what I would like to ask you guys to do: one, do not spam the chat because I would hate to boot you because I know you, and then which I might boot you anyway. So your fate is in my hands regardless. Mesmi's channel. Someone's like, what's Mesmi's channel? Well, Mesmi's channel is actually just Mesmi.
Yeah, just search Mesmi and you'll find me. Mesmi.
And so I'll put that in the chat though, so everybody can be like, oh, okay. And then just click on it.
This is great about day 6. Day 6, I remember day 6. They got emo songs. I remember first hearing their congratulations songs. I was like, that's good. That's good.
So before we actually get into just talking about just the dating thing, Mesmi, what is it like just being a woman in South Korea? A foreign woman in South Korea, let's be more specific.
I think we all have different experiences. I know girls that have an amazing time. I know girls that hate it. I had a little bit of both. Mm-hmm. And I started realizing that at the 3rd year mark, I started getting really burnt out. And then I went back to Texas for a couple months, took a break and came back. But overall, it's been okay. Now that I'm used to the culture that I've been here a while, I know how to handle things better. Mm-hmm. Because Korean culture is intense. And just in general, I'm a really anxious person. So sometimes I didn't know how to deal with it, especially with my emotions. And I would just react very negatively toward it. But, now that I know my rights, I know what to do in certain situations. I feel a little bit more confident about living here. So I'm not really thinking of going back home soon, yet, because I am enjoying my time here. In Asan, I have a good job. As a woman, it is, I would say, safer, in my experience, safer than living in the U.S. right
mm-hmm.
now. But there are, I guess, some things that we should be careful of as girls. A lot of you have heard of, those hidden camera things and stuff. Mm-hmm. So whenever you stay at a hotel or go to the public bathrooms, I always make sure to look around for cameras. Just also beware of drunk people, depending on the city. This city has a lot of drunk people and a lot of homeless people as well. And a lot of times during the month, I'll run into a person who will just start yelling at me in Korean, telling me this is Korea, speak Korean, just start harassing me for no reason. So those are the little moments where I'm just I hate this country. But overall, it's more positive. So if you do ever experience something like that, don't let it get to you because it's really, really going to ruin your experience here. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think Alex and I both can probably, and especially Alex. I mean, Alex has lived here for 11 years. I'm speaking for you, Alex. Alex has been here for forever. And so I know we've had those experiences. I think for me, of course, it's different from a woman's perspective. I've had those experiences where I got frustrated with different things here. But then I can imagine just as a woman, it's a little bit different. It's a lot different because also I could kind of especially for me as a black man too, So I think this is one advantage about being black in Korea is that if I'm upset, like I'm visibly upset, nobody's gonna mess with me. And I think just most people are just like a little more intimidated by black people, especially black men. But like as a woman, I feel men are more likely to try your gangster. Because I remember parking behind some guy in Suwon, and then Rose went to the car before I did. And the guy, he was basically stuck between my car and another car, right? And the guy went over to Rose. So he didn't see me yet, and it was at night. I mean, he couldn't see me because he couldn't not see me because it was night. It's just he just didn't see me. I'm sorry, I should say that. Anyway, I digress. So he didn't see me yet, and so he went over to Rose and was just like took this really nasty tone with her and was like, "Look, I need you to move your car." And da 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 da. And then like I walked up and was like, "Hey, what's up?" Literally like that, like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he like tries to switch over to English. And it's like, "Can you please move your car, please?" And like completely just like tone and everything switched. And I was like, wow. So him talking to a Korean woman like that, it was just terrible. So I can imagine also even just a foreign woman. I don't know. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. But that's another topic. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes sense because I didn't know about this till one of the girls I dated was like, "Hey, can you come down with me while I move my car?" I was like, "What do you mean, why?" Because like, the parking garages, you have to like move a car so that someone can get out and get back in. And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Yeah, because they will talk to me differently if I'm by myself than when you're around another man." And so that was a learning experience for me. And I'm like, yeah, that's real apparently. But again, around me, they're always very polite and nice because, they show deference to another man probably. But like, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I've heard of girls like they don't even address the girls; they would rather address the husband or the man. Mm-hmm. So we're just kind of standing there sometimes. But yeah, I would say the older generation, maybe like 50s and older, maybe 40s and older, mm-hmm. They don't treat women, I would say, as equals. And I've seen that with like ex-mother and father-in-law, like their relationship and stuff. Something hard to understand, to be honest. But I'm quite lucky that I didn't have that many bad experiences because I'm a hermit, and then like no one bothers me because they're scared of my dogs. So for now, everything's fine for me.
Wow, so we got just looking at some of the chat and Keith said it seems that it's pretty similar to Mexico, at least except the equal part. But I'm not sure though, because I didn't grow up with that type of family. Like I have a lot of girlfriends who'd be like, my father, he wouldn't let me out when I was a teenager, and mm-hmm. He would like, scare away all my boyfriends, and he was like all macho and whatnot. And they always let my brother out, but I never experienced that at all. Like my father was so chill, and so was my mom. So I never got to like experience that. Like, is a Mexican father that scary? Like, do you need permission? And for a lot of my friends, that was the case, but for me, it never happened. So I didn't know about that stereotype because my own parents don't like that at all. So like, it's very recent that I've been hearing that Mexican parents were like that. That's so interesting. I feel like though, for me, like if I was to have a daughter, I would be very, 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 very strict. Just because, I mean, like I'm not a very strict person, but like if I have a daughter, she's gonna what?
Oh.
Sorry, that kind of confused me. I was like, I was looking at the hands, and I was like, man, that's amazing. That's impressive. I was like, wait a minute, this man don't have 3 arms. I won't ask. I'm not gonna ask. All right. So Mesmi, so you dated in Korea? Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Alex and I think you were there for some of the chat. Alex and I was kind of talking about our experiences here. And what it was like and everything, and then we kind of got into the topic of like what is it like for women. What are some of the good things maybe that you've experienced as a woman, foreign woman, dating here? And you can take some time to think about that too.
I would say that we get away with a lot more stuff. Like when it comes to holidays, we're the foreign girls, so we don't know how to make that Korean food. So they don't expect us to cook any of those dishes and then just like all the girls together and they're working all day. So at least for a lot of us, that's not expected of us. However, because of the language barrier. But I also do have friends who speak fluent Korean. Yeah. Like, all right, well, she can understand this, so she can understand the instructions, so she's got to help. Or just in general, if you're a good cook, they're going to be like, yeah, help us. But a lot of the time, they don't really require us because, like, oh, it's the foreigner. Oh my god! And let me tell you, I freaking screwed up today.
Oh, tell me. I want to know.
Freaking warn me about this. I got invited for the first time to spend Chuseok with my boyfriend's family. I wasn't really nervous at all. So I went and I was helping the mom set the table. Why didn't anybody tell me that the rice goes on a certain side and the utensils go on another side?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Been here 11 years. I don't know that.
Apparently I did it wrong, and then my boyfriend had to fix it and whatever. But I was like really upset. Not like I didn't know it, but I was really upset.
But see, as a foreigner, you got the advantage of like that's an adorable mistake. I was thinking more like you said you like cursed out your mother-in-law or something. And you're like what?
Yeah. Or you adorable. Like you took off your jacket and you're wearing like the rising sun. It's just like like it's one of those like, well, my bad.
Because Koreans, like when we make mistakes in Korean language, like they laugh at us, but it's like adorable. They think it's cute.
But like Korean people, they're so specific of where they put the dishes. Like they want everything like perfection. Like on this side, here's the same side dish, the same like area, like everything. Like that's what I've noticed with a lot of Korean families. And I guess they put the bowl on the wrong side and then they had to move it. So
it makes me wonder if it's because his family, it's like because it's Chuseok, that it's just very specific. Did his mom do the dishes, or did you help his mom do the dishes afterwards?
No, my boyfriend did the dishes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting because I know, I think I told this story last time, but like when I went last, it wasn't Chuseok, it was right after I got married to see Rose's family in Ulsan. Basically, the women were all in the kitchen. Like they cooked, but then they also had to do dishes. And then when I tried to do dishes, the uncle told me, like, he was like, just have a seat. And I was like, okay. I just sat down because it wasn't my job. From what he told me, it's not my job to clean. And so that's why I was just curious as to like, did they like ask for you to help in the kitchen or anything like that afterwards?
I think there's a difference whenever you're dating and then married because he has an older sister, and she was late, so she didn't help with the dishes. But I'm sure if she was married, it would be a different story. She'd be required. Whoa! I see someone in the background.
Make sure you guys like the video, by the way. I missed it. I was too busy looking. Zen was like texting in the chat, and then like I keep. God dang it!
You gotta pay attention. We're just dropping hints left and right.
I like how I'm doing this. Like I can actually see.
Are you trying to like look around through my camera? Like
yeah, I'm trying to like see. Like who's there?
I saw a full arm. So
a full arm? Was there a hair on it?
No, but it was all tatted up.
Oh, it's tatted up.
Yeah, right?
Like
maybe it was one of those sleeves, though. It's probably one of those sleeves that looks like it's like a real tattoo and stuff.
The next girl I'm going to date is a rock girl, just letting you know.
Either that or Xander. I'm just saying because Xander's tatted up on his arm. Xander's all tats. Is that you, Xander?
We need to go to, we have to compare the tattoos with them.
It's true. I gotta ask. Is my date willing to be on camera?
Is your date have a British accent?
I don't know. Well, we'll see.
I'm hoping to see your date later.
I think you will.
I will. Okay. Actually, your date's gonna be this big British man. But I'm glad you had a good experience. It seems very educational.
Yes, I learned where the utensils go and whatever. We sat on the floor. Like, you know, they have those big tables, those floor tables. So if you're a foreigner dating a Korean, train your legs because they will fall asleep. And it's not
Oh my gosh. That's the scariest part to me. It has nothing to do with, well, maybe a little bit to do with gender because guys aren't flexible, but like, oh my gosh. I stretch every single day at the gym in order to somehow sit like that one day. No joke. And I can't. I still can't. Every single day.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, dude, it was a struggle, man. When I went last time, it was like your legs are crossed for like hours and hours. And so it's a pain. I'm looking at our chat and I'm like, oh, everybody's quiet. I guess they're just really, really just like taking in what she's saying.
They're waking up.
It's all good. We haven't gotten to the juicy details of dating as a foreign woman in Korea. Like the juicy details, we're like, what's the nice part? Everyone's like, we know it's nice. We've seen all the BTS videos. We can pretend what it's like. No, we want to know the dirty details of what it's like.
Let me turn the AC because it's getting hot because I had a...
Go
ahead. Okay, Christy says she's just listening actively.
Every day is leg day. Every day is leg day.
Every day is leg day.
I hate leg day, but yes, it is.
Yes, it makes me think. You never, if you guys lift weights, you never want to be a Yoda. You know, Yoda.
What, always cross-legged?
You only do arms.
One of my children wants to say hi.
Oh!
Say hi,
bonjour! Annyeong!
This is my little senior dog.
Is it French poodle? I don't know if that makes sense.
My soulmate. Look how freaking adorable this dog is.
Oh, hey, doggy. Oh, my God. You have the cutest dogs.
He's so sweet. He's the perfect dog. Like, he just loves people touching him.
Where's my cat? Where's my animal?
My baby misses mama.
Where's my Chagia?
Oh, here he comes.
We're all sharing our loves here, so it's your turn.
I don't know if I started petting the live organism that's in this room with me, it'd be a little weird. So I'm not gonna do that.
Pet their hand, their arm.
Big with tattoos. So tell us about. All right. So what is the toughest part?
Oh my goodness. The toughest part would have to be that not all Korean boys are like this, but a lot of them are mama's boys. So if mama doesn't like the girl, and if the parents don't want him to marry the girl, he's pressured to move on and marry somebody else if she's not up to their standards, which has been my experience more than once. And it's not easy because if they don't like you, you kind of feel pressured to make them like you, but at the same time, you have to know your limits because you're not a clown. You're not here to perform for them. If you like me, cool. If you don't like me, cool. That's my thing. And unfortunately, it's always like I don't even get a chance. Like they don't give me a chance. Mente, papi. Hold on. My other child wants to say hi.
Hello, other child.
Aw.
Here. Let me get mine really quickly. Yoko, come here. Come here.
Cat.
That
Come here. Yoko's like,
there is certainly a thank you. There is certainly yeah, because there's nothing like playing bass guitar in front of people. Like that's what people want to hear.
And the guitar's just like waving in front of your face.
He's just waving in front of my face. I don't know why. I get it. It's my baby. I'm gonna start petting my baby. So anyway, now you brought in the cat. Now it's adorable. I mean, are not American guys like somewhat mama's boys too? Like what do you mean by the difference between those Like, because
In my
American guys do
experience-
mama sports with like cooking and like they do all our laundry for us, but our Korean
Something
guys
like that, but to the extreme of like when they become adults, like they literally don't know how to do anything for themselves. They don't, like a lot of the guys I've met here, of course, they don't know how to cook. They don't even know how to like, pay a bill. Another thing is that the Korean culture, like once you start dating or get married, you're not allowed to have friends of the opposite gender. So not all of the guys are like this, but Korean girls can be quite jealous as well. I've heard Korean girls a little bit more intense, but when it comes to dating a Korean guy, they are quite jealous.
I hear they're very jealous too.
It's very like you need to cover up. In my experience, not all the guys are like that.
No.
Some of them are more open-minded, but I've dated somebody who was like, you need to cover up. It's all about like the image. So it's really, really bad experience for me. Like people that person was very controlling to the point where I was like being molded into somebody I didn't want to be. At first, I was like, maybe this person's right. Maybe I should be like this. Maybe I should cover up. Maybe I should do exactly what they tell me to do. And then at first I was happy. I was like, okay, cool. And then towards the end, I was like, this is not me. I'm not happy. Why am I changing for this person? And then of course it didn't work out, which sucked because it was a lot of years with this person. And people warned me. A lot of people warned me about this person. They were like, we don't like him for you. He seems really controlling. Like the moment he's in the room, you just kind of like shrink and don't talk. My own family was like, what happened to you? Like you used to be really happy and loud and now you don't even like talk. And I didn't even notice. Like I didn't notice. I was like, no, this is me. This is the real me. I like being this way. And I defended him until the end, and even after the relationship, I protected this person. But yeah, that's
wow.
That's normal. It happens. I mean, not normal. That's a normal reaction for the person in that relationship.
Yeah, and you got the opportunity to meet this person, a very charming person, but behind the scenes, this person was really manipulative, very verbally and emotionally abusive. Complete trauma. I'm not the same person I was like anymore because of this person. That person like lowered my self-esteem to the ground, and it took forever to like gain that confidence back. So just be careful when it comes to just in dating in general. Someone who tries to change you is not for you. Do not change for anybody. And even if you do, people don't change. You're just gonna go back to the way you were. So
yeah. You know, this as you were talking, it made me think of just like in Korean media, like there's like there's music videos that portray like this image, and there's Korean dramas that give you like this image of what dating is like, this magical world of like meeting people and like or bumping into them, and then like there's a lot of like mildang, like you're just getting there's a lot of push and pulling happening, right? But the one thing that I have noticed or have heard is that, and I'm not gonna same as you have like a blanket statement for like all men here or all women here, but one thing I have heard and noticed and had friends who've experienced is that it's really hard dating because people get extremely jealous. And not only do they get jealous, if you go to meet like your friend, they're like, okay, who's there? Like it's like they need you to fill out an application just to hang out with your friends. It's just like, okay, I want to know where you're going, what time, when you coming back, who's there, what do you plan on doing? Are there any women for the guys? Are there any women there? Are they cute? Are they ugly? Are they grenades? I don't know. Like it's like you have to tell you all those.
Are you drinking a beer?
Yeah, are you drinking it all?
Are you
right?
drinking? Yeah.
A beer, by the way.
A beer.
A beer? Okay. Are you drinking a beer? And it's just like, chill. Like, can you trust me just a little bit? And I'm lucky that
and then they don't say that. They're like, I trust you, but I don't trust them.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah. Mesmi, we need to have a talk off camera soon.
Right, because they're like, I don't trust Korean guys. I know Korean guys. I'm a Korean guy, so I know what they're thinking. Or I'm a Korean girl, so I know that they're trying to take you away from things like that.
And it completely skips over the idea of like, can't you trust me? Like at the end of the day, it would be our decision to do whatever, right? It would be our decision. So it's just really just like, I don't know. It's just an excuse just to be jealous.
Yeah, they want you all to themselves. And so, I mean, I rethink, my current relationship. Like, is it going to be like this, or is this person different? I don't know. Like, they could change. You never know. Like, once you get married, that's when I fear.
That's a tough part about the relationship that you were in is, like you said before, you've changed because of it. And I think it's unfortunate that it makes you now look at your current relationship in those eyes with that viewpoint, because it's sort of a jaded viewpoint, right? Like, it's kind of like, well, you seem nice, but what if I fall back into these ways because you all of a sudden, what if we get married and you start acting like this? And it does mess with you. And it's not a Korea only thing, but there is a certain way that they do it in Korea. Like, there obviously American girls can be jealous, American guys can be jealous too, but certainly the way that jealousy is showed is, uniquely Korean in itself too.
You compare a lot. You compare those relationships, and I don't know.
It's always funny because, like, I feel like the stereotype of like American girls, if I'm dating them, they'll be like, "Oh, Alex, I know that girl is not going to sleep with you, so I'm not worried about it. You can hang out with her, you're fine." But like Korean girls, would be like, any girl, it's like, "Nah, you want to sleep with her, so you can't meet up." Like,
Yeah, a lot of my Korean male friends, they have to hide the fact that they're out, like, having dinner with me, because I feel like their girlfriend would just try to.
And it's crazy, right? Because there's never like, look, the person I'm with is married with a kid. Wow. She doesn't want to sleep with me, but there's no like in between. It's like, no, she's a female, and therefore sex or something, like that's like the logical step. Like, no, she has a kid and I've known her for 7 years and I helped her meet her husband, or like it can be a full story, and they're like, no, doesn't count, done forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's a weird concept they have, not having friends after marriage.
Let's build up Mike a little bit, because I do know that Mike's wife is solid. She is a Korean. She's an example of why that you can't just like stereotype the entire population. So she's solid on that one. I mean, I've never gotten a call from her and be like, "Hey, Mike's with you. Is he drinking a beer?"
Nope.
That would so she's legit. Happen. So this is not a blanket statement about all Koreans, but there's a certain part of that population that does that. Yes.
I think from our conversation yesterday, it's almost like you have those people, and again, guys, we're just referring to just like a percentage of Korean people who date. Of course, not all, but like you have those who are never left anywhere. Maybe their exposure to just like Western thinking and ideals and whatever is very limited. You have those who have gone somewhere, like gone overseas, lived overseas, come back, but they still think that's the way. And then you have some who are more Western minded, where they'd be like, "Oh, okay, you're going to hang with your friends. Oh, are there going to be girls there? All right, just make sure that let me know when you get there, and let me know how you're doing, and let me know when you're on your way back." And they just leave it at that, and that's it. They just like have fun with your friends, and I think a lot of times they just don't, like you said, Alex. The way they express it here is different. I'm just lucky that mine is more Western minded. So maybe Mike's wife doesn't care if he cheats though. No, that's a little bit different. I'm not trying to lose any limbs.
The best part about Xander comments is like you don't get one or the other. You get supportive comments and crazy comments. So it's like all of a sudden it's like, "Oh yeah, thank you for defending me." Then it's like, "Oh yeah, he's 100% real all the time."
I want to actually talk about something. So Maria just commented, importance of ethnicity when it comes to ideal girl foreigner to Korean men.
I'll pop that up. Bam.
Oh.
That's legit.
Okay. Again, we are not going to stereotype, but okay, how do I put this?
Here, can I say something really quickly? I was looking at the picture you posted earlier for Chuseok, and all of you were on the couch, and I said it's really interesting because all of your skin tone, it's like are all the same.
We match, right? Well, we use
You
the same.
all match.
Yeah, we use the same makeup brand apparently.
Oh wow.
My boyfriend's mom and sister. So
I was like, And so no, please continue. I was curious if I could almost like not predict what you're about to say, but
okay. So just to be clear, every man has their own ideal type. However, not all the Koreans do this, but some people do look down on certain foreign brides, such as Vietnamese women, Filipino women, because they stereotype them to be the mail order brides. A lot of men here who are like over 40 and didn't get a chance to get married will, I guess, pay some money to find a bride from another country because they just couldn't find a Korean girl. So what happens is like, okay, they don't really know each other. They get married. The girl comes here and there are a lot of programs that help her adapt to Korean culture. However, there is that argument that it's more like it's classes to how to serve your husband and his family instead of like how to integrate you successfully. It's more like how to serve your husband. There's that, and then there's those foreign brides, and then there's everybody else. There's like the stereotype pretty Russian girl, and then there's just like everybody else.
If I can ask really quick, Alex, is your guest doing that?
No, I'm pouring it myself. What are you talking about?
No, I meant this. Someone Keith earlier asked. He's like, "Is Alex's guest a cat who's just knocking around stuff?"
My cat's pouring my wine.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's Mesmi's dog. Is your dog playing with something?
Yeah. Poppy.
Okay.
What are you doing? Get out of there.
So Mesmi, have you? So it's interesting to point that out about like if someone looks like they're from Southeast Asia, because like in a weird twist, like white women who are super blonde also face a weird like, oh, you're a Russian prostitute like kind of stereotype too. But you come from U.S. like Hispanic background, so is there a particular idea of that in Korea, or do they like on the flip side, do they sort of like nonchalantly without thinking about it, just lump you into generic white American too? Like how does that work with you?
I was actually about to talk about that because my appearance is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
I'm not a blonde, fair, blue-eyed person, but I am American. I do have like this really long black hair, so people assume I'm either Filipino or Vietnamese or Indian. So they're really confused because they don't get it. They don't.
That is such a legit comment. Like they get confused sometimes. Like, I don't know what race to put you as. They get super confused sometimes with people.
Like they're like, okay, wow, awesome professor, successful American, but you look different. You don't look. You're not.
There's
white.
something.
Yeah.
Something.
So they're confused. So it's like half and half. Sometimes it's like, okay, great. And then sometimes it's just like, you're not one of them. Something like that.
And that's got to suck too, because I mean, I've only know this from what I've heard from people, but like, do you ever feel like you've sort of lost a bit of your own personal identity when they kind of, like when they can't figure it out and they can't get you for who you are in a way? It's not like the Koreans should know like the differences, but at the same time, it's like you are also someone very proud of your ability to speak Spanish, your heritage and everything. So is it kind of like you feel like there's a part of you that they don't get, I guess?
I do, but I got tired of that. Jesus Christ. Can't, Poppy, ven acá. Knock it off. Madre. Anyways, sorry, my Mexican guy came out. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I got tired of them just like assuming what I was and just kind of being all confused. So I just say I'm American. But before they ask, well, then why do you? I'm American. Later on, if I do get to know the person, then I'll be like, by the way, did you know I speak Spanish? And then I'll just tell them that my parents are from Mexico. So I kind of like ease them in because for them, they're just like so confused. Like, why do you look this way? And but you're American. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get my chancla over here. I must spank my dog.
All right, do it. We support dog abuse.
Yo, all right.
Although I will say, hey, no, maybe come November, I'm gonna start pretending I'm not American, Canadian.
I got a Blue Jays hat you can wear.
I'm thinking about it, right?
Yeah, I'll let you wear my hat.
Go Maple Leafs. We just hung out with a friend from oh wait, that was Toronto. Was Montreal the Canadiens or whatever?
Yeah.
Who was from Canada? Was it Matthew from last night? Was that
Yeah.
Was he the Canadian?
Yeah, he was from Canada.
Yeah.
He's from Montreal.
Montreal. I could be from Canada.
You speak English.
Oh, all of a sudden the chat. I'm like looking now, like this. The chat room is blowing up.
No, the animal abuse and cruelty.
I'm sorry, I was kidding. I don't actually hate animals.
By the way,
I like my dog's booty. It's not abuse. He needs to learn. And now he's sitting quietly, just looking at me. He's fine.
Actually, to be fair though, it's not animal abuse in certain circumstances if done the right way. It's literally about showing the dog who is the alpha of the house. Like, nah, Mesmi's in charge here. Y'all take care.
Yeah, they're fine now. They're quiet. They're calm. What are you looking at? He's like wagging his tail. He thinks it's hilarious. He likes being spanked. Like he thinks it's a game. Like he'll get a spank and then he'll start wagging his tail and like he's trying to push my buttons. He's like begging. He's like doing this. You want another one? Anyways. Yeah, my Mexican mom is coming out.
These comments, oh my gosh.
I know. I'm looking at the comments just laughing.
Did you just laugh at Lou's comment too? Yeah, there it is.
It's like trying to move with animals.
But like I read that in a happy voice because it feels like one of those happy. It's like chat abuse, but with animals. It felt like one of those happy comments. It's like,
come here.
Yeah, here you go.
Exactly. Yeah. I speak to my dogs in Spanish. They know they're bilingual, so they know how to give paw in Spanish. They know how to sit in Korean.
That's cool. Yeah, Yoko will be like, Rose will be like, "Mama," so, which is like, what's Mama? It's like, do you want like food? And then Yoko's like, like Yoko will start speaking back, and it's just really weird. Yoko, if I say like "kunkuni," he'll be like, "Meow, meow." It's really cute. So that's really interesting, though. That question was a really good question because I know that we also know that. Actually, no, I'm curious. As a Hispanic woman, have the family ever had any kind of like stereotypes of what you were supposed to be or what you were supposed? I know you said that they didn't. You say you're American, they're like, "Why do you look this way?" But then when you say you're Mexican, did they be like, "Oh," and then they kind of have like this image of what Mexican people are?
They don't really know what a Mexican person is. Are you talking back to me? They sometimes they're like, "Where is that?" And then they're like, "Oh, tacos." Oh, they'll say drug lords too, something like that.
Oh,
say Narcos?
Yeah,
okay.
Narcos. Yeah. They'll say something like that. They're like, "Have you seen the show Narcos?" And I'm like, "No." But I try to just ease them in and just act like it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. They just make it a big deal. But yeah, I don't know. And then what I do like about it though is that when they kind of start appreciating it, like today, my boyfriend's father was like, "I saw a show on Netflix where they traveled to Mexico to eat all the food. And I want to go to Mexico and try out the food. I really enjoy the food we sent over here." So I was like, "Oh, thanks. Like, you remember that my parents are from Mexico."
Oh, that is cute.
So things like that, where it's a very respectful thing. Now, when it's medicals, that's when I'm like, kidding me.
That's really interesting. I'm curious. Have you ever heard of the word? You know the word "she world"?
What is she?
She world.
What is it? Wait, what? Are you speaking English or Korean?
So it sounds like when I first heard it, I thought it was like Sea World, like with Shamu and stuff. but she will do is like, so you have like
She will?
your, so it's like it's basically the husband's side. Basically, it's when the wife has
Oh,
like
she.
certain, she
Oh,
she will
the
do.
Korean word she, not like she as in her. Got
No, no,
it.
no, no, no. Sorry, the Korean word she. Yeah. So basically, like there are certain things you would have to do as a woman, marrying into a family or being a part of a family. So, like for example, like it's everything that you would see on a Korean drama that's extremely negative for like daughter-in-laws. That she will do. So then, like for example, the mom, like the way she treats the daughter-in-law, and them telling that their family has to come and live with them in the first few months of marriage, and that whole thing. Have you ever heard of it?
I just know that certain things are expected from a Korean woman,
Mm-hmm.
especially like having kids and whatnot. Like that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
What is okay, Korean people? If y'all are watching, what is the obsession with kids and babies? Like, am I the only one that notices this? But like when Korean people see a baby, they're like, "Oh my god, so cute!" And they're like, "I'm young" and whatever. And I'm just like, everybody obsesses over babies here.
It's the same as dogs, right? Like it's great to obsess over dogs as long as I don't have to take care of its poop. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, it's like
I mean,
bitter, and I don't like babies, and I just refuse to say hi to a baby or even acknowledge it. But
that's
apparently,
right. You tell that baby it's taking up all the spotlight. You just
I just don't like babies. But they were like, "Look at they're so cute," and I'm like, I don't see it. Sorry.
aww.
okay. Can I ask you a question that's I guess more tame, less like what is as a Korean, someone dating a Korean, what is a random thing that Korean men do that you don't like? Like something that's kind of like it's very simple, like the way they pay the bills. Or like, what is something they do that you don't like that has nothing to do with like race or international, like something that's just different about dating culture here that you're like, I wish this was not the same as like the way it is.
That's hard to answer because.
Or is it good? Is it always good? Like, is it like, oh, they hold the door better than like American men?
I really like that they hold my purse. Like they'll carry my purse around. And that they'll always open like all the doors for me. However, there's in Mexico, the guys actually move us away from the street. Like they'll go on that side where the cars are passing by.
We do that in the States too. In the
I
South.
learned that too late in life. I didn't know that was a thing until late.
And I didn't see it here, but then I realized like there's cars everywhere, so that the guys are just gonna be moving me around. So I was just like, okay, don't worry about it. But I enjoy that a lot of them are like gentlemen, and I like it.
So they do a lot of like courtship formalities, I guess is maybe the right word.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the person.
This is why men die first.
My current boyfriend, the one I have right now, before we started dating, he would show up to my parents' house. Like he showed up with flowers for my mom, flowers for me.
Before you started dating? Before you started dating?
Yeah.
Does that mean you stopped?
Yes.
Oh.
No, he doesn't get me flowers anymore because he's a cheapo depot. So yeah, I told him about it a lot. It's like, damn, what happened? He's like, they're so expensive here. The flowers are apparently like super expensive.
Oh yeah. I get it. Okay, no, I respect your boyfriend for that.
So he's like, you're just gonna throw them away anyways, and they're just gonna die in like 2 days. I'm like, true that. No, but he's still a gentleman. Like he'll still pay for the meals, still like open the door and stuff. Yes, he pays for the meals, but I also pay for it too because I'm like, okay, I gotta do my part, so I'll do it. We don't do like half. It's just complicated. I'll be like, okay, well, you pay this meal, I'll get dinner.
Okay, you had to be very specific there for a second. So I was like, you'll do what was your pay for coffee? Like, right? Is that what you mean?
No, he'll pay for lunch, and then I'll buy snacks, and then I'll buy dinner, and then like the next time.
Okay.
It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. We both.
I'm all in favor of that. I'm traditional-ish in the same sense where it's like I think guys should pay 60-40 or 70-30. And I know like in the modern day, you're supposed to be like 50-50, everyone's equal. But like, I still like, I buy dinner, she buys coffee. Like when someone doesn't buy the second part, I'm just like, yo, I don't know who you're dating. I'm a YouTuber. I ain't rich. Just like,
Yeah,
I was going to ask you.
when you do like, all the math. But it's just annoying to be like, oh, can you split it? So I don't mind paying for the meals. But in my previous relationship, I did date somebody who was not very well off. And eventually he got used to me just paying everything. Like he just wouldn't.
You were in. Now I'm starting to want to judge, like, talk to you about your past relationship. Like, you need to get, like, remember how you said earlier it was like everyone was telling you to get out, and you were like, no, it's different. Now I'm like, oh shoot, I see that now. And by the way, we've all been there. I'm not judging you because I've been there too. So.
Yeah. That was a really difficult relationship because I was like, damn, that was 4 years. That was my whole like early 20s. It was rough because also, you're like when you're in your early 20s, you're so like naive and you're like, oh, my first love. And then you get your first heartbreak. And then eventually I'll tell you later in the chat what happened afterwards, like the aftermath. It's so effing intense. So it's basically a Korean drama with a really bad ending.
That's the funny part about like everyone who wants to date like a Korean man because of the dramas. I'm like, do you know how dramas go? They're terrible. They're like the worst.
Yeah.
They're usually not good. Happy ending, but the ending is like you're a Stockholm syndrome patient, and you're like, the ending is terrible.
And then, like, realistically, if you were to date a guy like one in a drama, like let's say, like I probably have lately, like Itaewon Class is the one that sticks out in my mind where the main character was different in how he treated women, but like in like solid 80% of Korean dramas where there's a rich guy and some poor girl, they treat the woman terribly, like terribly. And, the woman she just eats it up, or she gets mad, she fights back, but then somehow they end up coming closer. And like, realistically, if you were to have a guy who talked to you in such a terrible way and treated you like that, there is no way a woman with any kind of self-respect will stay that long.
And unfortunately, a lot of us do because we're so blinded by love, and
it's not self-respect. That's psychology. That's different. Like I used to say that about people, but like you stay in it for like reasons that are beyond your actual control. Psychology makes you stay in for it, not about self-respect. I mean, you're right. Like it is self-respect, but like it's not as simple as that. We all stay in relationships longer than we should for like psychology reasons.
But in terms of like, I'm curious, in terms of just like looking at a Korean drama, so not so much like you're in a relationship and then like you fight, but like in the sense of like you're not even in the relationship yet, but for some odd reason you keep falling for someone who's just like dogs you out.
That's normal. I do that all the time. I have a new crush every day. You know that, Mike.
Then asks a good question. What do you think about foreigners dating each other in Korea versus foreigners dating Koreans in Korea?
Aren't we all dating? Well, I guess not anymore for me, but like we're all somehow dating Koreans.
If I was given the choice, I would not do it again. I would have liked to date a foreigner instead. Maybe someone from my culture.
Wait, quick question before we go on, because I think this is a really good question. Mike, are you taking a bathroom break? You muted yourself.
Mute.
No, my computer, I forgot to plug it up. It's at 6%, so I'll be right back before it dies.
Okay, can we all take a break? Because I got to use the bathroom too, so that's...
No, Mesmi, here, you can...
Mesmi, you're in charge.
So
take care of everything.
Here's what happened, guys. Let me tell you my sad story. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go too much into detail because even my own subscribers don't know what happened because of defamation laws. And just in general, I don't want to, I guess, protect him, but okay. Let's just say that a certain ex-boyfriend of mine we dated for 4 years, Alex met this guy Everybody warned me about him. I guess I changed in a bad way. I was more quiet. I wouldn't hang out with friends a lot because I was just with him the whole time. Basically, this was my first love, so I was very obsessed with this man. Like, I was worshiping this man. This man was a very religious person. He came from a very religious family. So, of course, it is expected that the future wife acts a certain way, goes to church. And they were so religious to the point that they were very brainwashed. Korean Christianity is different from Western Christianity. Here it is more intense. Sometimes it takes the Bible way too literal. So, for example, if I had missed like a day of church, it was like, oh my God, Jesus hates you, you're going to hell. And of course, as a person here alone in Korea, you start believing these things. You're like, oh, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe God is upset. Things like that. That kind of stuff I had to deal with. Regardless of that, still obsessed with this person. Anyways.
That's okay. I'll say just come to the light.
Oh my God. I hear, hold on, let me listen to the gossip in here. Anyways, that did not end well. I kind of like woke up after 4 years, but a lot of people settle. Once they hit 30, they settle with someone that they don't love. And eventually it turns out that homeboy was still homeboy had wished that he hadn't gotten married to the person that he ended up marrying. He married a certain person within 5 months. And he just kept giving me excuses to why he never wanted to settle down yet. He didn't have any money. This is this. My parents don't like you. And then within 5 months, he got married. Anyway.
Wait. I just got the end of it. Wait.
Who's watching porn?
I am, apparently. Oh, wait. So I just got the end of it, and I caught that he ended up getting married.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. So that's the gossip. That's a quick, 30-second gossip. There's more. There are more intense details, but I can't reveal those here.
No, of course not. That's for the after chat. We should make our own Patreon just for the dirty details.
Yeah, $5 if you want to hear if you want to see the text messages, if you want the receipts and stuff.
I'll pay $5 for that.
I could have, honestly, I hope my boyfriend's not watching. I could have crashed that wedding and showed receipts and ruined his wedding, but
oh my God,
I would have supported.
Right? Yeah, but
so I missed it. What happened? What did you talk about?
I think you know the story. You know what happened.
Oh, you told the story. Okay.
Yeah, I told the story to
the
Patreon.
Oh, I just read your comment too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that story. I remember that.
Yeah. So I would have been back sooner, but as soon as I ran to go get the charger, Rose called and she's like, "Hey, say hello to my parents." And I was like,
"Hey, are you drinking now? Who are you with? Who are you talking to?"
And I was like, it's just Mesmi. And then I just showed her the screen. She's like, "Oh, tell I say hello."
Man.
I completely thought that I thought that I mute my mic. I thought my microphone was muted, and I guess it wasn't. But I guess you guys could hear me talking in the background to her parents.
Did you? Yeah. Okay. Wait. Question time then. The original Xander question. I mean, Bob Mukden happy. Whoever it is, it could be happy.
Okay.
So here, what's the worst Korean guy pickup line? Not really a pickup line.
Question.
But what I hate when they do this is they'll freaking follow you. And then they'll go up to you and be like, "Oh, hey, I left my phone at the movie theater. Can I call my friend from your phone?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure, whatever." I didn't think anything of it. And then whatever, I left. And then a couple days later, I get a random anonymous text message, and they're like, "Do you remember me?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "I want to be a real man and ask you out for some coffee." And obviously, I was like, "Boy, if you were a real man, you'd just come up to me and ask me for coffee, and you'd ask me to be friends."
Yeah, but you had the guts to do that and talk to you in the first place, and you won't even "Can I have your phone to call my friend?" Just, "Can I have your phone so I can ask you on a date?" I guess. Well, maybe not say the phone line, but you're already halfway there. You go 90% of the way, and then you're a little bitch at the end. Unbelievable.
I hate that. I hate when they do that because it's happened more than once where they'll pretend they lost their phone or they need to call their friend, and then they use that so they can save your number. Like that's. And then I talked about this in a video, and a lot of subscribers were like, "Wow, that's the most romantic thing ever. I wish somebody did that to me." And I'm like, "That's creepy. They freaking followed me."
That's like somewhat no. I guarantee if that's happened multiple times, that was on some kind of like pickup artist website for Koreans, because like it's a very creative way to do it. Like it's creepy, but it's creative. And I'm like, okay, somebody did that and then put that on a blog post, and then now they like a bunch of dudes who don't know how to talk to girls started copying that move.
That's the thing about Western women. I feel that with Western women, they would rather you just approach just naturally and just like, if you're interested, just say it, right? And which Koreans, I know, again, not all do this, but a large majority, they normally though. And I know for sure when I lived in Japan, I knew a lot of Japanese guys did not do this, but they were just too shy, or it's just like culturally, they just don't be like, "Hey, I like you and I want you. Let's go on a date."
I have another, like my first week in Korea. This was in 2014. Oh god, I went roaming around my first week, and then I hate when they do this, when they give you their card or whatever. But anyways, this guy comes up to me. He speaks no English, and he starts doing like something like this. He's like, I don't know. Somebody tell me what does this mean?
Menu pun. That's it. I've only seen this for menu.
And then he's like he's pointing to like the bathroom. He's like, "You go there." And I'm like, damn, do I have something on my face? Like, is he telling me like my face is dirty? I gotta wash it. Like, I was still innocent back then. And he was like trying to get me to go to the bathroom with him. And he kept like doing this. Like, you are so like this. What is this?
Boxy.
Card. And I'm like, I was so confused. Like, I didn't realize what was going on until like later when it clicked, when he was like, "Let's go to the bathroom." And I'm like, what? I was like, I was telling like, what's wrong with my face? Like, what? But he just kept doing this.
Yeah, because if they did it to a guy, it would mean that someone threw like a penis on your face after you blacked out drunk. But to a girl, I don't get what that pickup line is.
No, that's creepy. That is creepy.
You look like perfect picture. Good. Okay. Me, bathroom, you? Cool.
Aha. Now he's putting it together, but I didn't understand. I thought my face was
mean, I would never have caught that either. That's ridiculous. I just gave you the most ridiculous answer that made sense, and that could be it.
I don't know why girls think it's romantic when a guy follows you.
No, it's not. Or like,
I don't know. Do girls think that? Because like some girls do though. Because like I know some. Like this is not a one-for-one example. It's not exactly the same, but like I remember I had a friend, and we weren't romantically connected at all. But she would be like, "I like it when a guy." I turned down a guy, and he asked me 3 times. I was like, "Wait, what do you mean?" Like because it shows that he cares and he tries. And that was the first time I realized, like, some girls like stalker dudes, because that is the most stalker thing to do. If a girl turns you down twice, back the fuck up and just let her be. No means no. And she was like, "No, he needs to ask me 3 times, and then I know he really likes me." I'm like, "No, then that's how I know he's a stalker, creepy." And I'm like,
no, but that's pretty jacked up too, that a woman would also want a guy that like tried at least 3 times.
That's what terrible movies teach you, is like, this is actually romantic. Like, no, it's only romantic when it's Brad Pitt doing it to you. Otherwise, it's creepy as that.
The guy's like holding you from here. Oh, hell no. Do not freaking touch me. Like my poor boyfriend. Like even just a little, I'm like, don't touch me.
That works in clubs, because that's the reason, one of the earlier reasons I hated clubs in Korea is because I'm not good at hitting on girls in clubs. I just don't know how to do it. But like, my competition was dudes who would grab their wrists and pull them off the dance floor. I'm like, I can't do that. Like, and it would work. And I'm like, this is creepy as hell. I'm like, how is it doing it? Now I get it. Like, I know like part of the idea is like the people doing that aren't looking for long-lasting relationships. But at the same time, like there is a certain element that they teach that in Korean dramas and Western dramas, to be fair. But like the wrist grab, you stop them and you pull them in for a kiss when they said no. Like, that's not actually romantic. That's like No.
I
No.
Have you ever heard the term kabeton?
No, what's that?
So it's a Japanese word that you've probably seen before, where like the woman, her back's against the wall, and then the guy like kind of smacks his hand up against the wall, like and kind of like
Oh,
pushes up
man.
against her like this. And so at one point, it was really seen as romantic. I think because they did it in Japanese dramas and they did it in like animes, and then like a lot of women started thinking that this was romantic. But it's actually very like it's actually scary if someone kind of pushes you against the wall and leaves you nowhere to go. Like I don't know, has that ever happened to you, Mesmi, at all, or anything
No,
like that?
my boyfriend tried that once because he read about it and he said up that he thought that girls liked it, so he tried that and I just bust out laughing. And I'm like, what are you doing? What is this?
That can work in a really effed up psychological way, where it's like in trauma situations, if a girl has been experienced trauma before, if you do that to someone, they feel trapped and they sort of shut down their own defense mechanisms and just let stuff happen. It is very much not romantic. It's like a serious PTSD, like it's rapey, and it works because that woman has been experienced a trauma of rape before, and they shut down their emotional like happenings of it. Not to get like super serious all of a sudden, but it's a rapey move, and it only works for someone who has been traumatized before in the past. Sorry, that got dark.
So in short, guys, don't do that ever.
Just don't do it. Yeah.
None of those moves. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, it's the slow movement towards the girl, and if like just kiss her. Don't like that's like even looking at my camera now. Like this is creepy as f, man. That's like just and then if she turns you down, then turns you down, it's fine. But if you do this, you rapey.
I don't like. That's the reason I don't watch Korean dramas. It's just men are so aggressive. So aggressive in those dramas. They yell at the girls and do this and that.
Grab by the wrist. Yeah.
And the mother-in-law are aggressive too.
Oh yeah, she is.
Give me anxiety. Korean dramas give me anxiety.
You know, but I'm also. Have you ever seen like a guy and a girl argue in public?
That's really funny to watch because that they're so intense. Like they don't care that people are watching. They're just going at it.
It's so embarrassing to be a part of.
I know, and then I seen like the guy, which for the record, Rose and I, we've argued in public before too, but it was different. Like what I'm describing is different. Like her and I were just arguing over something stupid at airport, which I'll have to tell you that story. It's like the dumbest story. But like what I seen in Suwon, like on around Suwon Station, there was this guy and this woman arguing, and then like I seen where guys get super aggressive, like really aggressive, like they're like kind of like clapping their hands real loud, and they're in the woman's face like this, and they're like hitting the wall, and it's just like it's like legit scary. And so the guys I was walking with, we were watching because he was just seeming like he wanted to hit her. And we were like, yo, if he makes a move.
Sorry. He's just trying to kill the mood right now. I mean, she is. I mean, whoever my date is. Stop.
Bro, tell Xander he need to stop. That's definitely Xander. I saw those big fingers. Xander.
Yo, I got another story after you that you know, but keep going on that story.
So in short, it's like my friends and I, we were just watching. We were like, yo, if he makes a move, we gonna have to protect this girl. But the thing is, there are many stories in Korea where guys have done something to protect the girl, and when the cops came, then the girl, like basically, she turns on the guys who tried to help her, and was just like, no, this is my boyfriend, or like, no, it wasn't really that serious, and just completely throw the foreign guys under the bus.
Yep.
Just completely throw on it. And so, see, I knew that was you, Xander. I knew that was you. And so, yeah, and it's like, after that, like now, like whenever I see it and I'm with Rose, she's like, don't do nothing. Don't do anything. Just let it go. Just let it go.
Yep.
It's like, all right. Okay, never mind. It's not Xander. He's not there.
It's so common to like hear and watch like a wife get beaten up. Like, I don't know why have the it just happened to me like all the time. I used to work at a high school like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, at night, I would hear like this husband just like body slam his wife, and I couldn't sleep. I'd show up to work like pissed.
In a bad way.
Now here's the twist.
Okay.
So I remember the first week of school, I asked the landlord to take away the bed because my one room was so small. I didn't even have space to walk. So I take it out, and then she's like, "Oh, if you have any questions, I live like right upstairs." And that was the only apartment upstairs. So I like, whatever. I just didn't think about it. And she left her cell phone there. So my boyfriend went up and took it to her. So that's how I knew she lived upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, I actually complained to the school. And I was like, this husband's just body slamming his wife, and I can't sleep. The building belonged to the computer teacher. He was actually the husband. So
wait. He was the husband. He was the one body slamming, or just the?
He's the landlord's husband. And then I connected the dots because I'm like, okay, if the landlord lives upstairs, who's the man doing the body slamming? So I kind of spilled the beans on accident. And as I was saying it, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm sorry. I was like, oh, dang. Like, shoot. And so when I told this to all the Korean teachers, because I complained about it, their eyes were like, And so they ended up like having a meeting with like the higher ups and getting the teacher in the meeting. And it did get better at one point. But then turns out that the computer teacher was like the guy was actually now living in the first floor. So I don't know, something happened that like he ended up going to the first floor, and then the landlord, his wife, stayed upstairs or something. But yeah, I accidentally tattled on him.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Good for you.
Like, it was intense. Like, the walls were shaking.
Sheesh.
But when I met this guy was so helpful, was really sweet and whatnot. And then I realized he actually had issues because the Chinese foreign teacher, she actually used to live in the second floor. But since she got married, she ended up moving out, but still keeping the apartment provided by the school. And as she was actually closing the contract, the landlord went and visited her and like ended up really being like super aggressive, saying, "Why did my husband come to your apartment? You're supposed to like go through me and not my husband." But he's the one that would fix our like internet and whatever.
Wait,
she was going to China.
The person being body slammed is the one that went to her and was like, "Why you leaving the apartment?"
Yeah, like, why is my husband here? Like, why is he coming to your apartment? But like, he went there because the Chinese teacher went to China, and it's winter time, so you need some to like mess with the heater or whatever. Anyway, so I realized they were having issues, but like they let themselves be abused as well. So I don't know what happened there.
I think it's an interesting thing. If I can say this to any foreigners who live in Korea, one of the common refrains I often hear is like, "I can't talk about it because they're going to deport me if I get in trouble." I think what you did, or what I've done in the past, or like a lot of people say like, you can't do anything. I'm like, no, you just bring it up to people and you don't get deported. Like, you can't go in there. You can't go up to the door and knock on his door and say, "Stop it," because you might get deported. But if you do certain ways, like certain roundabout ways, you can still protect people, especially in instances of domestic abuse. And I think like we just easily dismiss that as foreigners. Like, "I just can't do it because I'll lose my visa." Like, yeah, you can. You just have to be smarter. Like, you just can't. You actually can't physically break up a fight. That's true. But what you ended up doing was legit. Even if you didn't mean to do that, like that wasn't your intention, there are ways to protect people, usually women, in domestic abuse. Like the one time I was in that situation, I just stared at the guy. Now, I was like, it was really weird. Like, there was nothing cool about it. Like, I was drunk, so I was like looking at this guy. But you don't have to go in there and stare and like actually break up a fight, because you will get deported. But a lot of people like immediately dismiss it, like, "I can't do anything because I'm a foreigner." I hate that. I've heard that a bunch. Like, do you see that video recently of the Busan, I think it was like a Russian woman or a Ukrainian woman getting beat up?
Oh my God.
All my foreign friends were like, "Oh, I can't do anything about that." I'm like, if you don't stand up for her, F you, man. You're not a man or a woman or anything. Like
Nobody,
oh,
even
yeah,
the friend she was drinking with, did nothing.
oh, they like look. I get it. It's hard to react in the moment, but like I think your story should be somewhat of an inspiration. Like just you can do something. There is always something you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But like I hear from foreigners in Korea way too much. Like I just can't do anything. You little bitch, get up,
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah. Good God. Like
Sorry, I got
even
really emotional. Apparently,
no,
on Mike's
no.
streams, I get more emotional.
No, I've never seen this video, but that's the
It's
one thing.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
I think it's the worst I've seen because there are so many of like Korean husbands beating the heck out of their foreign wives.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that
Which
one
you
has
know,
to be the worst.
they passed a law on that recently
Yeah.
because
No,
these men
yeah,
were beating
again,
their wives.
yeah, not all Koreans. It's not a normal thing. Often happens in
Yeah.
the countryside more. And obviously in America, the same thing happens. So I'm not saying it's a Korean thing, but I think as a foreigner, I think even a foreigner in America or a foreigner in any other country, we're like, I can't do anything because of my visa. I'm like, really? Really? Now, it's a good thing you didn't go like, you actually did the right thing accidentally in Korean culture, was just to kind of do the roundabout way. Like you didn't intentionally implicate the guy, because if you point a finger at somebody, they view that as breaking social order because he's above you in the social hierarchy.
Yeah.
But by somehow making that happen, where you, in a roundabout way, implicated the teacher, it actually works out for the better for both of you. Well, not for him, but for
And
like.
I feel like a lot of people are thinking, why didn't you call the cops? Well, because I would tell Korean people like, hey, this is going on. They're like, oh, if you call the cops, they're not even going to show up. They don't want to get involved. They're not going to do anything. Why? Like they just see it as like, why? It's just an argument between a guy and a girl. And they're like, they're not going to listen to you. So that's why I went to my school, because every Korean person was like, there's no point. No one's going to show up. What's going to happen? If they do show up, they're just going to be like, quiet down, whatever.
Oh my God! Sorry, I'm looking at the video. I just
you're
stopped
watching that video?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
That was intense, right? That was like, because when someone told me like to watch this video, I was like, oh, so like you hit her. I'm like, that is like movie level. Like, you know how like in movies when someone hits someone as hard as they can and they survive, you're like, there's no way they can survive that. That's how I felt watching that video. I'm like, how is that person alive?
Mm-hmm.
Shame on those people that did not do anything.
To just stand there and just watch this whole thing.
Because that was intense as hell.
If Mike and I are friends and I do that to somebody, I hope Mike kicks my ass. Like that is exactly what should happen. If your friend does that, first of all, he's not your friend. Second of all, like there is no, if my brother did that, I would destroy my brother. Like that was such an intense video.
Yeah. I just looking at this, it's almost like, we kind of already asked this, but what is everybody else doing? Like obviously you only see so much from the camera, but then even if there's people behind the camera, are they just watching this and just saying like, looking at each other like do something? Like I don't know, like it's crazy. I guess because of like, if this happened in America, that guy would probably would have gotten one hit, and before he knew it, he would have been jumped.
I'm not. I shouldn't be saying this, but back in the day when I was a baby, when my mom was pregnant, my uncles used to beat her up. So my father's brothers, and she ended up calling the cops, obviously, and they beat the out of my uncles. They left them all bloodied up. So if this was the U.S. or even Mexico, this would be a completely different story.
That's just it's such an interesting thing about like American culture that I know, Mike, you and I have talked about before, but one thing that America does well in a weird way is we have this really messed up hero complex, and especially dudes, where it's like we hear somebody coughing and we want to jump in to save the day. It's like a weird instinct. Like it's a little bit too much in a lot of ways. Like we go into a lot of foreign wars because we're gonna save the day and whatever, liberate Iraq. But at the same time, in certain situations, whether it's like the terrorist attempt on the French train on their high-speed express, or in certain instances of domestic abuse, American dudes will be like, I have to, like, we were raised like you are supposed to be the hero in that case. And I think that's one thing that America does well. For as much as I like trash talk America nowadays, I think it's a weird part of American culture that I think is kind of nice in a weird way.
Yeah.
I'm glad, like, I'm sorry that it was your uncle, but like in a weird way, like that is the reaction that I would hope happens from people who hear that story. Like that's like we would get up there and beat the shit out of somebody. That's the goal. If you hear that story.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I can imagine, like if I was there, because even while watching this video, I was thinking, what would I do? As just whether this was America or Korea, what would I do if I saw that? And I think honestly, to see that, my first instinct, I wouldn't even think about consequences. Would just go in and just literally just tackle the guy and get on top of him and just choke him.
Yeah, it's what you have to do. Like, it's not a choice in our. I don't know if it's like our Christian upbringing or whatever it may be, but like in your mind, it's not a choice. You're supposed to do that.
I feel like it's a human upbringing. It's just human nature. You see someone who is obviously weaker just getting attacked, and this one thing, which is still terrible. Like if a guy just hits a girl, you'll want to jump in and do something, regardless, right? But then when it's just a complete massacre, just beating somebody senseless, then it takes it to a whole nother level. Like I will risk getting kicked out of Korea for that. It'll be worth it because I don't think that I could move forward in time with that on my conscience, knowing that I just let it happen.
It's weird hearing that from you because I think like that's what I would expect from you, like or from like if I didn't do that in my mindset, I would think if I like let this happen and I'm watching like domestic violence happen in front of my face, I would expect my friends to judge me. Like I would expect them to judge me like you did nothing. Oh yeah, but you might lose your visa. Like that is kind of the lamest thing I've ever heard. But again, like this is an American hero complex, which is in this instance is a good trait, in other instances is a bad trait. But it's like no, I don't know. Do whatever country you're from, do people? What is that? The same opinion, Mrs. Date of mine?
Bro, you might as well reveal. You might as well reveal.
It's been an hour. Over an hour, right?
Xander, do you have an opinion? Well, actually, no, I can read his comments now. There are laws that prevent people from entering. That's true. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, do you think the laws are worth breaking? And I think that's where, that's the line. I think Americans, I know Americans who won't break that law, who will be like, it's not worth my visa. And I know some Americans who have actually done that and then been fined like $4,000 to settle the lawsuit of him hurting somebody who was domestically beating his wife, who then died in a murder case from that same husband a year later. And so it's like, yeah. I agree with either Bob Mokta or Happy, whoever that may be.
So I'm curious, like if their video was released very similar to this incident, right? And let's say you just completely trashed the guy, right? And then a video popped up. Let's say you still got arrested or you still got fined or whatever, right? But then the video popped up. Do you think that there would be a big enough outcry that would actually turn it over and make a difference?
Like if you were the foreigner who protected the person.
And the video was like this. It was just like this.
Yeah, I think so. Because I would do that. I would use, because we're all social media people. We know how to use social media. If any of my friends did that and protected somebody, I would cut. The way to do that in Korea is to attack their international reputation. Like, hey, do you want us to tell the entire world that this is what Korea does? That's one thing that you can get Korea to do. You can embarrass them on an international stage. And I don't recommend it like for everything. I don't think you want to do that as like your go-to instinct. Like, oh, this was sexist, so let's kill Korea.
Yeah.
But if it was my friend who protected a domestic violence case, I would go to the mat for my friend. And I think we could make it work. If it was obvious. Like obviously, like if it's kind of iffy, I'd try my best. But I think you could. I don't think, because again, Korea is not this. This is a Korean law. It's not the Korean people. There are plenty of young men and women in Korea who do the right thing, or at least would stand up for the right thing. So respect Korea for what it is. They are, the young people especially are a very progressive young group of people. So they would protect what's right.
Yeah.
But you'd have to fight for it. You couldn't just let it happen. You couldn't be like, you couldn't pull a Sam and just let him get eaten up by the Korean media. You'd have to stand up for him.
Yeah.
And I think that would be the difference.
Yeah.
I don't mind going to jail. I really don't mind. It's 3 meals a day, more than what I eat in a day. Sometimes I eat 1 or 2 times. I get 3 meals. I don't have any money. They can't sue me. They're not gonna get any money from me because I don't have any anyways. So I'd rather go to jail.
As long as it's for something like that, I'll be like, it was good.
Not
good. Hey, you know what?
In the U.S. anyways.
I'm proud of us. We're there. By being here and admitting stuff like that, it proves that America is worth saving. Because there are some, we do some things right, not everything, but we do some things right.
So just to kind of wrap up our stream, because we actually went 30 minutes over.
Can we wrap up with like a really positive thing about dating Korean men?
Yeah.
Is that possible?
After all that, yeah.
I love dating Korea, and so I know there's like the way that they give presents or something, or like they wake you up in the morning. What is like the number one thing that your boyfriend does?
One thing I do like about Korean boyfriends is that they always like message you to check up on you. Like, well, just in Koreans in general. Hey, did you eat? What did you eat? Are you doing okay? How are you feeling? So you do get a lot of attention.
Yeah.
They're the lovey-dovey romantic type. They'll be very cheesy. Oh, where is my baby? And blah, blah, blah. Things like that.
Yeah.
So they're sweet. Yeah. Sweet. Yes. We can talk with revealing your date. Yes.
Looking for the reveal.
Does my date want to come on camera? No. I'm going to put him on camera anyway.
See, I knew it. I saw them fingers. Man.
If y'all saw my Instagram story, y'all would know. By the way, where we go? He's shut the bathroom door.
So, okay, so this man is on Instagram. It's Alex Secrets. So make sure you guys join Alex. Here, and what we can do is we can actually drop your Instagram.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Yeah, we can drop that into the chat.
We're gonna finish our second bottle of wine.
Finish that second bottle of wine.
There was, it's really a bummer. Like there was, like it doesn't mean anything, but there was a really cute girl at the bar we were at before, and it's like, can we just like be late to Mike's stream?
No, you would have to jump into the stream while at the bar, and then we all have to watch you go talk to her.
We almost considered that actually, but in the end,
that would have been good.
As any 30-year-old man will ever admit, any cute girl you see at a bar is someone you're probably not going to talk to or get her number. It's just kind of like, she's over there.
I mean, I met mine at one, but that was like luck.
That's true.
Well, by the way, we're also going to drop Mesmi. We're going to drop yours in here too.
I mean, 29 chats.
For you, your news headlines whenever you end up like in jail, Mike.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Talk about black foreign. Black foreign teacher from high-profile foreign school. That foreigner. Oh yeah. Stuck that foot in that mouth, bruh. I would do it, guys. I would do it. But one thing I learned, and maybe this is just from what I learned in the US, if you break up something, I would rather choke somebody and put them to sleep rather than to hit them. Just because I don't want to leave a bruise or leave anything broken. Because they can wake up from getting choked and be okay. They'll probably be like, I need to wear a neck brace, which they know they don't need to wear no neck brace. But anyway, so instead of breaking a rib, make them pass out. So,
Mesmi, did you ask me a question in the chat room instead of in real life?
Yes. My question to you is, and if you ask me what's a good thing about dating a Korean guy, what's a good thing about dating an American guy? Because I've never dated an American guy. In Texas, I would always get hit on by the Japanese boys and the Korean boys.
This might be a little controversial. I think one of the cool things about dating an American guy is like he always freedom, #freedom. Thank you, date of mine who's British. I think there's a I think there's a cool part about like it sounds lame on the outside. There's a resistance of American guys to be whipped. Like we fight it really hard. We're like we don't like it when the girl controls us. But I think that's kind of a fun part about the push and pull of a relationship. I think in Korea sometimes there's an expectation that you just kind of do whatever the woman says until you get married, and then once you're married you don't care anymore. You kind of quit doing that. It's almost like it's over once you're married, and that's the stereotype. But I think there's kind of a fun thing because American men will fight being whipped, but at the same time we will still kind of come around. Like we'll just like in the outside be tough. Like I'm gonna watch football and beer with my bros and whatever. But in the end we are still kind of softies, and we will take care of it. It's just kind of like a front we put on because you need that. And I think in a relationship you need I believe you can't just be a whipped person who does everything for you and checks on your every need every 5 minutes, because then you lose the excitement in a relationship. It's a psychological, again, we're on the psychology of it all, but I think it's kind of a fun part about dating an American. I'm not a woman though, so you tell me if that's legit or not.
I would say, and hopefully,
thank you, woman, Mike, who's gonna tell us.
I was gonna say, we're individuals. Also, we're very independent, and so we're very independent.
We let you have a male friend sometimes.
Sometimes.
I mean, if we know he's hitting on you, it's different. But like having a guy friend help, like even as Americans, and I say this as an American guy, I need to have a female friend because my female friend will tell me how my girlfriend thinks. And like Korean girls don't get that. I'm like, no. If you want me to treat you better, I need someone to explain stuff to me, because you can't ask your girlfriend everything. And so I like, I know like one of our other friends, like Laura, to me was someone who would explain the woman's mind to me. And I'd ask her a question like, why does she do this? Why does she think this way? But if you like cut off my female friends, it would be like, I don't know why you're mad at me. I don't get it, but you told me not to tell people that you're mad at me, so I don't know what to do. So I think that's kind of a nice thing about many American relationships. You have to be able to allow your significant other, to have a opposite gender or gay or straight, like whatever. Like they need to have someone they can ask questions about you, the relationship person.
Yeah,
so that's
it's important to have a friend like the opposite gender, because like you guys are very direct with me, and I appreciate that. Sometimes I don't want to hear like the girly like it's gonna be okay. Like I need to hear like you're being really stupid right now.
I've heard that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, kimchi. We're talking about kimchi. My ex asked me if she can hang out with an old friend. I said sure, and she thought there was something wrong with me. I don't get it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong, but I think where's your ex from though, Cam? Because I know some girls, when you hang out, some girls just don't want you hanging out with an old friend. So then if you allow them to hang out with an old friend,
I just caught the question. I can answer this question.
Go ahead.
That's a test question. I know this because I've been asked this before. I was like, yeah, it's cool to hang out with them in certain situations. Like obviously not like getting drunk and hang out, at the bar, but it was me being okay with that. But at the same time, if your ex-girlfriend, I'm assuming in Cam's case, I don't know, if your ex-girlfriend, she assumes that you would do that to cheat on her. So therefore, if you let your girlfriend do that, then you're okay with your girlfriend cheating on you. It's like a double psychology. Like it's a double, because I think I would cheat on you in this case. You should think about this in this case, and therefore you should think that I would cheat on you if I was with my ex. Like it's kind of like I don't know what the word is, like self-protection. Like you will look at yourself and say, this is what I would do in this situation, and therefore the fact that you think that it's okay for me to do that situation means that you're okay with me cheating on you, and you're not jealous enough. I think that's the key. You're not jealous enough, because you should expect me to cheat on you if I do that. And that's a lot of her insecurities coming out, or his insecurities coming out. So it's very, like, if that's my friend, I'm telling them to be careful, because it's not about what is it? She thought there was something wrong with you. It's not about you. It's about their own insecurities. And I think Mike mentioned it earlier. Like, she should trust you not to cheat on you. That's what is the foundation of a relationship. But some people can't build that trust because they know in their own situation they might cheat on you if they're in that situation. It's a lot of like mental back and forth, but that's what it is. Again, I've let my exes hang out with their ex-boyfriends in non-drunk situations, but if they're getting mad at you for that, that's because they have their own insecurities to deal with. Dang, I need to stop drinking wine and alcohol when I get emotional.
Yeah, I was gonna say, all right, thank you, Dr. Phil.
It is real, though. It is real, but
Golly, I feel like we just got a free therapy session.
and by the way, yeah, I mean, someone mentioned like don't ever talk to your ex again. That's dependent. Like, there are some exes that both of us are clearly not together with, and there are some times where you do have to cut off, to be fair. So slow down, Tiger. Well, if someone would stop pouring my drinks,
the floating bottles. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream tonight, guys.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That went by so fast.
I know, it's already been an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah, what if that cute girl's still at the bar? Go back there and check it out.
Go. And then we'll start the stream again just to watch you.
Hey guys. No.
No, don't. Just make sure you don't drink and then talk, just because I've seen that enough.
Oh God. Yeah, we'll leave it with that.
But make sure you guys follow Mesmi, follow her on Instagram. I can drop that link for you again. Also, make sure you follow her on YouTube. Her YouTube name is Mesmi, as you can see here. Also, follow Alex Segrist on YouTube. It is Alex Segrist, as well as his Instagram. It's Alex Segrist. Oh, yeah, don't forget me. Follow me, too, if you're not following me already. My YouTube is Michael, obviously. You're here. But then also my Instagram is Michael86. So make sure y'all come by. No, thank you for coming to the stream, Tim. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kristen. Anything you guys want to say before we peace out?
Happy Chuseok.
Happy Chuseok.
Happy Chuseok, everyone.
Happy Chuseok.
What do you think about what you're thankful for. Enjoy life and have a good time.
Yeah. Now take care. And I guess with that, I guess we're out.
Am I allowed to leave now? Am I leaving too early at this point, or can I?
No, you can just go. All right.
Bye.
I left the studio, but forgot to actually shut down the stream. Thanks, guys. I will catch y'all later. New content coming out next week. If you haven't done so, also make sure that you check out my newest video where our friend is reacting to police brutality. Next week's video is not going to be as heavy, though. So it's going to be a little bit lighter, a lot lighter, actually. A lot less, I guess, political as well. So if you haven't checked it out, please make sure you check it out. It is right here. Bam, in the chat. And now I will say peace. Peace.